Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, Junivators. A warm welcome to the Stories of Excellence at Juniper Network. Right, so this is one of the first of the series where we will be kickstarting, and we'll have a lot more people, and we'll listen to how they set out on their path to excellence. Right, but before that, I'd really like to invite Sheela, who's been a great support in this event for the opening remarks. Over to you, Sheela. Okay,
yeah, thank you very much, guys. Good afternoon to one of you, and a very warm welcome to our guests this afternoon. Some of us have butterflies in the stomach and little twinkle in the eyes to see the hero that we always saw on the screen, who almost came to our living rooms, spending our evenings with him, seeing him from a distance. This will be an opportunity for us to see him in close quarters, right? So before we sit there, I'll just take 30 seconds to tell you why we are doing this. What is the stories of excellence, right? It is very normal. It's very normal for a caterpillar to believe the world is coming to an end before it becomes a butterfly, right? All of us believe, all of us know for sure that excellence is not a random act. In fact, it is a very deliberate and a very keenly followed, passion, right? Somebody needs to make it a habit. For this habit to form, we need to give something away to embrace something. We need to empty our Zen cup. When the cup is emptied, you put in new ideas, new inspiration. And when the inspiration comes in, every day you wake up as if that's the day you're going to end with satisfaction, right? So we created the stories of excellence for you to pursue excellence, for you to see what does it look and feel, what excellence is. For that, we're going to invite, like we invited this afternoon, some of the very renowned, accomplishing players in the sporting world and musicians from the music world to come to us often and talk to us. So in this direction, you will see a series of these programs being rolled out starting now. We'll do it once a quarter at least to bring you together. When you come back to office, some of you will come back to office, we're going to see this in more live action. Till the time, I want you to sit back and have a good fun and enjoy. While you're doing this, I want you to make some key notes for yourself that you take back, and that will be the spirit that you will go to, get onto the ground soon. Yeah, with that, I'll give it back to you. Vaishnavi, over to you for our Ashwin. Yeah.
Thank you, Sheela. And true to Juniper's philosophy, that's like being driven by experience. We will be having fire chats with exemplary achievers, like Sheela mentioned, who are known for the relentless pursuit of excellence, and they're considered as role models for many of us, and they inspire a whole generation, right? So again, quick housekeeping rules. So please ensure that you're on mute. And keep those questions coming in. Ensure that you have your camera on, and we will be selecting a couple of questions, and these will be answered by Ashwin himself towards the end. And in true spirit of cricket, imagine you are in a stadium, and if you have any messages for the spin wizard himself, do write them out on a sheet of paper in big bold letters and hold it up, and we may unmute you towards the end, right? So with all of that housekeeping rules in place this afternoon, I'm personally excited to kickstart our series of conversations with a member of the World Cup winning team. And he's also part of a two-time IPL winning team. He's an Arjuna awardee. And he's also, been in the news because of the recent IPL finals in 2022. He was a part of the Rajasthan Royals, and he's an all-rounder that we all know. And in March, his career wicket tally went up to 435 in a test match. And he just moved a little away, dethroning Kapil Paji, and he moved to the 9th spot in the all-time list of highest wicket takers. And he's now the second in among the all-rounders. I could go on, and I'm breathless reading out his list of accomplishments. He has an ICC Cricketer of the Year award, and he also has 9 Man of the Series in the Test Cricket Awards to his kitty. Generators, please put your hands together for the one and only Ravichandran Ashwin.
Hello, everyone. It just feels a little odd, I've given some leadership talks live to live audience, but This has been the trend over the last couple of years. We are doing it over. Yeah, thank you, Pawan. Thank you, Parthas. Thank you, everyone. There's been a lot of love that's been coming on the chat window, which is something that I'm not accustomed to on a Zoom talk, so to say. Imagine talk. I don't know if you guys can actually empathize this, but imagine talking from Chennai and everybody from all over the world connecting, and you can't see face to face, and I'm saying something and I don't know what the reactions are. It can be hard. I did hear ma'am say that please take your notes. Make sure you have your pen and paper right next to you and take your notes and grill me on questions that I'm going to talk on questions from what I'm going to talk about. Since this entire thing is based on excellence, that is something that I firmly believe in life. Right, excellence is something that has been a part and parcel of not only the way I thought, but also the way I've approached my career as such, as I must say. Not just my career, even my life. Sometimes I run into trouble at home for trying to be excellent at whatever I do, even at home, which is not quite required. But I'd like to share my one Goundamani joke. Okay, guys, I think I will get a little taken away from whatever I want to talk if I keep seeing these messages, because there's a lot of funny ones coming. There's a lot of appreciative ones that are coming. But just rein it in for a bit. I'll take in as many questions as possible towards the end. And so just taking on, because it was about excellence, I thought I must just touch upon that very particular bit from the last 15, 14. Okay, I may not get it right and somebody might correct me, but over the last 15 years of maybe more of playing professional cricket, right from first class cricket to international cricket, it's been one hell of a ride. However, there have been a certain few episodes that I look back, and there have been a certain few episodes that have given me a very enriching experience, if I can say so. So I'll take you back to 2007 for starters, 7-8. I'd made my first class debut for Tamil Nadu. The current commentator who did a fine job at the IPL this year, W.V. Raman, is a very insightful cricketing mind, and he was the coach of my first class cricket team. And I had just started my first class career. I had just started my first class career, and he was a great mentor. I used to bowl good off breaks, really spin the ball big, and that was pretty much what I had. I'd done really well in club cricket, and I'd broken into the Ranji Trophy team. The first year I had a phenomenal year. I had 4 games and picked up 35 wickets or something, and everybody started noticing. Everybody started thinking who this guy is from this part of the world that is bowling well and getting all those wickets. But eventually, they say the second season syndrome, which happens to most cricketers. And I went back to the nets, and I was, I had a pretty okay start, sort of a start to the next season. And I wanted to do something about my game. There was Ajanta Mendes who had broke into the international scene. Ajanta Mendes is someone that had come to Chennai to play some club cricket, but he had broken onto the international scene, and it was a phenomenal start to his career. He bowled this carrom ball, he bowled off breaks and all that, and all along through my life, right? My father denied me the opportunity, or so to say, he was not very happy with me going and playing a lot of gully cricket with tennis ball. And a lot of cricket coaches even today and then also believed that playing a lot of tennis ball cricket would not really work in a very positive manner for the cricketer going through the professional ranks. So they tried to curb my instinct of playing this gully cricket. But I used to, like any other child, any other kid growing up with all the fantasy in my head of being a cricketer and loving the game to the hilt, I used to go and play cricket without my dad knowing. Before he came back, I used to go to the ground and play, and I was pretty good at bowling, the knuckle ball and the carrom ball with the tennis ball. And I was pretty well known around the localities for doing so. And once Mendes broke onto the scene, my dad used to work for the railways. Somebody told my dad that, hey, I heard that your son bowls it really well with the tennis ball. Does he bowl it with the cricket ball as well? Look at this guy, Ajanta Mendes, he's broke onto the scene. So he came back home and one day, inquisitively questioned me, hey, I heard that you can bowl that ball. Have you tried bowling it with the cricket ball? And I was like, I responded saying, no, not really. He said, you must try. Then I quizzingly asked him, this came as a part of, tennis ball cricket. He said, yes, somewhere in life, something comes to fruit and something might help you. So just try. And I went back, tried it with the cricket ball. The cricket ball is very different. The tennis ball, I've got big fingers, so I can press into the tennis ball. With the cricket ball, it's pretty hard. You can't press into it, and the ball's pretty big as well. So I tried it, and the first ball that I bowled in the nets, right, I just straight away tried it. I don't know why I did it. I was bowling at Murli Vijay and Dinesh Karthik, and the ball fell right beneath my feet, and it was a short ball, and they just slapped it back. And I tried it a couple of more times, and the batsman again slapped it back. And one of those occasions, Vijay actually pulled his hand off and hit it with one hand. He was pretty annoyed. And Raman made his way up to me, and he said, "What are you trying to do?" I said, "I'm trying to bowl the carrom ball. I saw Ajanta Mendes bowl. I bowl it well with the tennis ball, sir. So I thought I'll just give it a try." He told me something very interesting that day that I still hold on very, very dearly to me. He said, "It's absolutely fine. I'm not going to get livid or upset with you for trying something like this in the net. But remember something: you're trying at the cost of somebody else's time. So you need to make sure that you're putting your efforts alone in isolation where nobody is watching you or even nobody is being disturbed in your want to be better or want to be excellent." So that's a lesson I gained. But for the next 1 year, I would always go and bowl in the net separately, all alone, have like 6 balls with me, just bowl the ball and go and pick it up and come back. For over 2 years, I practiced this ball and bowled in a few matches just to gain confidence. How much ever you bowl in the nets. Bowling in a match situation and having complete control over it is an entirely different thing. So I used to bowl it in club games, and then I used to go and play Sunday corporate games along with my tennis ball friends, just so that I can try this ball and gain more confidence with it. And I got a contract with CSK in 2008, and 2008 I didn't get a chance to play. 2009, between 2008 and 9, I had made rapid strides in Indian domestic cricket. Everybody thought that I would get a game in 2009, but I got a game or two. One game where I didn't bowl at all, and the other game I bowled pretty well against Kings in Durban. And in 2010, when I came back, right, when IPL came back to India, and I had progressed a little bit more. I had actually gone into the Indian team for a couple of tours between 2009 and 10, and I anticipated to play a bit more regularly. Even though Muralidharan was playing, I anticipated to play a little more regularly. And obviously, MS Dhoni gave me the opportunity to start off the season. I don't know, regular followers of the IPL, regular followers of CSK would remember this, that I was an integral part of 2010's victory of CSK, but not many would know that I played 3, 4, 5 games, to be precise, at the start. I started off pretty reasonably well. I got a couple of wickets. I got Gilchrist out. I got a couple of more batsmen out. But then I had a couple of really bad games, and I got pushed away from out of the side. It was a very interesting phase. I got pushed out of the side, and I was feeling like, what have I done wrong? I got hit in a couple of games, but a spinner is bound to get hit. He will get hit for a few sixes. So what's wrong? And all of a sudden, I realized that the whole pressure and the scenario of playing the IPL had got the better of me. I was always one of those people who would never be bothered about the pressure or the stage I am in, because I want to express myself in that stage. I want to showcase whatever skills I had. But in all those 5 games, after having practiced for 3 years, I'd never bowled the carrom ball. And it just bothered me, people just played me as a normal off-break bowler. It bothered me. And I went back and I was like, they pushed me out of the squad. I was not even going to the team hotel and all that. But I was quietly telling myself, if at all, I got one more opportunity to play for CSK or to play in the IPL, I would just bowl it all. I would just express it all and just leave it out there and just leave the rest for destiny or for whatever it needs to happen to take over. Surprisingly enough, right, I got a chance back after like 3-4 games. CSK was almost knocked out of the tournament. Everybody said CSK is out of the IPL and all that. And suddenly they decided to call me in, and Muralidharan and I were playing together on the same side. And this time around, bowling inside the power play is quite an arduous task. I had never thought about it that deliberately, right? But I had done a few games. I bowled a few games for Tamil Nadu inside the power play, but never really thought that I would be bowling in the IPL inside the power play and all that. I had a decent control with the new ball, and I got back into the side, and MS Dhoni flicked me the new ball. I thought he asked me to, hand it over to Doug Bollinger or someone, and he said, bowl the first over. And I was like, really? Is it me? And the batsman in front of me was Sachin Tendulkar, and I'm like, wow, this is one momentary occasion. And I just went ahead and started to bowl, and suddenly I felt I bowled like 2 overs or something, like for 16 runs or 17 runs, can't remember exactly. And MS Dhoni brought me back for a second spell. I quietly went to him and said, listen, I can bowl a carrom ball. I sort of bowl it from the front of my hand. Can I bowl it? And he looked at me and said, do what you want, because the 24 balls are yours. and do what you want. And it's completely your choice. You take whatever field. Do you know what field you want? You know where the ball will go and all that. I said, of course I know what field I want. And I put the field in place and I bowled the carrom ball and Pollard just skied it. Pollard hit it straight up. And you won't believe me, the ball went so high. I was actually praying that somebody took the catch. Murali Vijay was running across. Tilan Tushara, the Sri Lankan seamer, came across and both of them crossed each other. They got into a tangle and Murali Vijay ended up with the ball in one hand. Which is when I realized actually the bravery or the journey of failure. For example, let me say the failure that I had in the first half of the tournament was actually the pathway for excellence that I had built up. Very often, all of us in life enjoy the success. We all believe that we've been excellent, we've been good, we've been great, and we've been working very hard. And that's why we have got the rewards that we are getting. But I firmly believe excellence is not a one-off thing. Excellence is the learning from the failure that we've all had in life. And sometimes we all gloat in success, we all enjoy our success, but what we all forget is to be able to learn from the failure, the painful moments we have when we fail. Like many times when we fail, we feel like, it's so embarrassing. It's so, it's so hard to consume. But for me, that particular moment when you feel as if you failed yourself, you failed the entire world, you feel so desolate. Remember one thing, that feeling is not final. That feeling is just temporary. But what we learn out of that will completely dissipate if we don't accept failure. So in my life, accepting failure and learning from failure has been the fulcrum and has been the pathway to excellence as far as I'm concerned. It's not just happened once. I was the ICC Cricketer of the Year. I was bowling like magic in 2015, 16 and 17. I never thought I would be dropped from the side. I never thought I would be left out of the side. But I got left out. I got left out and I was like, I was in no man's land. It took a real toll on my head. But again, that failure of being left out and that sort of a feeling, that isolation, that dissolution, that fear, that feeling that it's very hard to explain feeling in terms of words. But there was a situation in life because of those episodes where I had to actually go and seek help, from a mental conditioning coach. And I did it for 6 months. But again, the learning for me from that particular episode is the fact that you must be brave enough to seek help from someone when you're mentally not okay. And ever since I took that help and ever since that episode, I've been a far better person and a far better cricketer. So anything in life, failure is the most amazing thing that's been bestowed upon mankind. However, we feel failure is final and a lot of people tend to sulk down. So folks who are here today and who think failure has been chasing them, whatever they do is not ending up in success, things are not turning around. Remember, the turn is always around the corner. It's us that need to consume the failure, learn and make the turn. So that's all I have to say. And failure is always the pathway to excellence. Success is just a one-off thing. It's just an episode. Just like you fail, you succeed. But failures are always the pathway to excellence. And it's just that we need to embrace it and learn from failures. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwin. And, thank you for the time travel. We went back in the years and then it was like a vicarious travel that we had, stepping into your shoes and getting a sense of what it felt to be, to go through all those ups and downs in life, right? So that was really wonderful. And so now, actually, we have a lot of messages coming in on chat, right? A lot of thank you messages saying, thank you so much, right? It means the world for giving us a sneak peek into what it takes to be a cricketer, right? So all of us assume that it's just the fame, it's all fancy. There's also a lot of struggles behind the scenes that we may not know much about, right? So we have a lot of questions coming up and yes, so we have a lot of questions coming up and we are selecting. Our team is really scrolling through the chat to shortlist a couple of them. But before that, you mentioned about gully cricket, right? And we've also read that at the Ashwin Foundation, there's a lot of emphasis given for gully cricket in how it brings about the best in the children. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how gully cricket played an important role in teaching you the important lessons in life?
So no, even at Ashwin Foundation and even in our academy, I actually emphasize a lot on playing cricket in a very unstructured manner. So, for example, I used to play on the roads and I used to play in the neighbor's house. And we used to have, when we play on the road, it's more of an offside driven game. So we can't hit towards the leg side because there is a tank and there is an auntie who will pick up the ball and won't give the ball back. I'm sure a lot of people would have, experienced that in their lives as growing up in Chennai. Growing up anywhere in the country. And so it was all towards the offside because the road was open towards the offside. It was a dead end, and that's how I developed the game of playing inside. I play a lot through the offside. I play square of the wicket. There are a lot of strengths that get built up when you play unstructured cricket because cricket is one of the greatest self-taught sport in the world. There is technique, there is strategy, and all that is there. But at the end of it all, it is the most self-learned sport that you can ever find. So for me, I try and build that into kids. And nowadays, nobody is even on the road at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock and actually playing. So when they come to the academy or when we have it, we once in a while, for the Ashwin Foundation boys or even for the semi-professional boys, we do that once in a while just to bring back the joy and also to give them the idea of what unstructured cricket means. So to me, it meant the world. Even now, if I find people playing on the road and if I can get a bit of privacy, I definitely go down and play because it's a lot of fun. Yeah. You can compete with people. It's so much fun. There is a lot of, social angle also to it. You build a lot of friendships. So I love it.
Absolutely. And I think all of us here are reminiscing the days when, you hit a window and then auntie didn't give you back the ball. So we have a lot of questions coming up on the chat. And so one question that all of us wanted to know, how you seem to have like a split personality, right? Like you're very calm and you're very composed, but on the ground, you're very fierce, right? So how do you handle the pressure when you get to bat in the middle of the game and that like requires a lot of runs? So how do you channel all that energy and bring out the best in you?
See, look, I think it's not like the way you're saying it, it makes me think whether I've got multiple personality disorder, but maybe not. I'm just generally very chilled. I have a great sense of humor actually, with my friends and with my family and everywhere else. I just absolutely love my time. I love smiling. I love enjoying myself a lot. But when it comes to playing cricket and when so many people are watching and when I'm competing in front of so many people, I love winning, and it's like a habit that I developed through playing a lot of gully cricket only. Even when we're playing, even when I'm playing with friends, you have different characters actually. To be honest, one of my friends I know for a fact that he comes and plays gully cricket. For him, the entire 2 hours is fun. He only makes mockery of others. He laughs. He chills. It's not about playing the game. For him, it's about being with all of us and having a gala time. But for me, when I went out to play, it's about actually winning. It's playing with one another and coming out on top of your peers. It's like a bit of brotherhood, right? Like you have siblings at home. Even though you're siblings, when you play, you want to get the better of the other. It's just like that. And for me, that's just imbibed in my nature. And I want to win at any cost. Like I said, even in whatever I said before about excellence, what is excellence? Excellence is about failing, picking yourself up again, competing and coming out on top. If you fail again, you learn and try and come out on top. So that's basically what life is all about. And when you're doing something, when you're working, why do you do anything? Like we all work, we are all professionals. Different people do different things to earn money or have a living or whatever. Why do we do all that? We're just trying to chase the purpose of life. So when we are chasing the purpose of life, there is no point in actually being laid back and taking it chill and relaxed. When you're in it, you're in it to win it, and that's why I do it. And once that's done, it's done, and I can. It's all. Some people tend to take it personally. For me, nothing is personal. When you're playing a game, it's the greatest way to express yourself, and I care two hoots about what other people think. I just go out there and do what I think is right.
It's great how you're able to like differentiate. You're able to differentiate the game from the person and not take it really personally, right? So that's a great quality indeed. And so I think we have a next question ready. And you also mentioned about the importance of mental health, right? When you go through a lot of these challenges, the support system is very, very important, right? So can you tell us, and we also know about your wife being a very important part of this support system. So we wanted to know who are the people, across this journey who've inspired you to, be relentless in your pursuit of excellence. And just generally, like within cricket or outside, who are the people who you look up to and say, man, what a great person, right? And I really learned from this person a lot.
See, there's one thing that's always nerdled me in my life, as far as coming into, having played cricket and all that. Like, there is this famous dialogue that that a lot of people end up saying, never meet your heroes. So it's like, there is a certain sense of expectation from you when you I've always, from afar, I have idolized and been inspired by so many cricketers that India have had, Australia has had, England has had. It's just amazing. But that's just a distant view of how people inspire you. But I've always believed meeting heroes outside is just a question of what they do and what they achieve in life. But meeting heroes inside the house and next to you and who are with you are the most important heroes in your life, as far as I'm concerned. So the greatest heroes of my life have been my parents, and without a doubt. When I look back, I've been married for 10 years now. My wife has been a silent hero, actually. So everybody that's walked into my life has supplemented my life in one way or the other. For a very long time, I must say this, actually. It's very funny. I'm 35 years old now, and I've been playing cricket since the age of 8. I can't remember a holiday my parents have taken. They haven't taken a holiday for a very long time. They only started taking holidays ever since I left the house and started playing professionally. And their holidays are not massive. Because entire cricket in Chennai and in India is centered around the summer break. And that's the only time I have a holiday. And that's when the matches happen. And that's when summer camps happen. So my father and mother were so glued in that they never took a holiday. They never used to take me out anywhere because I could miss matches or play any cricket. It takes a massive toll. I'm sure they did it completely happy. They were so happy giving up on all their pleasures for their son. But now when I look back at it, they've lost a lot in their lives because of what they've had to do for me. And for they say behind every successful man there is a woman, but behind every successful cricketer or any successful man at the elite level, I think there is just more than just one person or one woman. And you can even put down my friends. I've got two amazing friends. One lives in Australia now, and the other one lives in America. Both of them are engineers themselves, but they were very supportive. Like when I used to play club cricket, literally both of them used to travel and come and see my games, try and see if I needed something. They used to throw balls for me. They used to pick up balls and come if I hit them. And it sounds so small. It sounds very minimal, but unbelievable. One of my friends, his name is Venkat. He lives in Australia. He's so true that we studied in a college like 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers away from the city. He had a TVS 5050 there. TVS moped. And he used to drive that moped, and he lived in Trichy, but he was living in a hostel when he was playing. So he used to come all the way 40 kilometers just to watch me play and encourage me. And it's so hard. And there are these gully cricketers who used to live in my neighborhood. Like we were like 15, 16 guys who used to play. And all of them have thrown balls for me to bat, and for me, caught balls when I bowled in my house. We used to have a 15-yard net, a small net, small concrete space. Everybody has contributed so little in my life that it is not little as far as I'm concerned. Those are massive contributions. Maybe those people are not even expecting anything from me in return, but those are massive contributions. Without any one of these building blocks, I wouldn't be who I am today. And even, all these people have, even when I asked for the mental health that I needed, I said mental health is very important. All these people have been so tight and very emotionally well connected that they gave me the ability to think and say, I need help. Asking for help is the bravest thing a man can do or a human being can do. And I'm so glad that my family, my friends, everybody gave me the courage to be able to ask for that mental help. And it's very important, guys. Trust me. Nobody is a sage. Nobody is so thick. Everybody's got the soft spot. Everybody's got emotions. Everybody is going to turn negative or positive. It's all a phase in life. We must be able to say, I'm not feeling great. I need help. And it is brave, but all of us need to do it.
Yeah, and I can totally empathize with what you say. And in the current times that we are in, right, mental health does play an important role. Right. With that, just talking about mental health and believing in what you do. Just we're all just curious, like how are you so brave enough to like take a stance when the entire world is against you? You know, there's controversies, and there are so many people who are questioning your decisions. How do you carry yourself with dignity and hold your ground?
Look, I think the answer to that is very, very simple in my head. I was probably 15, 14, yeah, 14, 15, and this comes a lot from my mother, and even now, I mean, we have arguments in our house, right? My mom is always right. Okay, my wife is also always right. So I've embraced that very clearly at home to have a peaceful life. But that's besides the point. So for me, when I was 14 or 15 years old, I had a very bad injury in my hip, and I wasn't one of the greatest or the sharpest students at that point of time, because like any other kid, I used to play. I used to love playing and hated going to school or studying or sitting with my dad and doing the math or history or whatever it is. And one of those, I believed I could go on to become something good in cricket, big in cricket, which is exactly what my parents also believed, that I would end up becoming someone big. But on this particular day, I'd broken. I mean, there was a big gap in my pelvic bone or something like that. I was actually limping and walking, and the doctor said I need to go for a surgery, etc., etc. A lot of people that might know a little bit about me would have read that on Google and all that. But I was lying down on my mother's lap. I was weeping. They dropped me from the Tamil Nadu under 14, under 15 team or something. And I came home and I said, look, I thought I'm good at the game. And today I'm not even good at the game, because I made a couple of, I got a pair. I got a duck and duck in both innings, and they dropped me out. Looks like my career here also is not going great. My studies are also not going great. And we're not a very well-to-do family. We are like a basic to a low middle class family, and I don't know what I'm going to do for you. And I was just lying down in her lap and weeping. And she used to work for Unilever then, and she's quite brave. And I remember her coming very late back home. She used to be both my father and mother cooperated with each other to make sure that they gave me the best of all worlds, in fact. And she said something very interesting. She said, look, I came from a district and a very remote place in the country, and my father was very good to me, but I don't think I had the opportunity to explore whatever I wanted to explore in life. And here you are, my son, and I'm managing to give you whatever I can. And as long as I am alive, I will give you what all you need, because you love the game, and I can see the happiness in your face and the twinkle in your eyes when you're out there playing the game. And when I watch you play, it fills my heart with happiness. And this is just very temporary. But if you decide that you won't be anything good, then there's no point. Me and dad have decided that you will be something big in cricket, and we believe in you. So if you decide that you want to be big in cricket, and give it one good crack, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, because we can always say we all decided to be this. We gave it a great crack. We were happy giving it a crack, and it didn't work, and we can find something else. That stuck with me. I feel everybody's life is very, very important and precious. I say this very casually to most of my friends. When we have ego battles or when we are tussled in ego, unfortunately, I can't tell my colleagues, because it's a very high performing environment and the egos are flying all over the place. We are all born and we are all gone, and we don't know. Sometimes when we look back at it, we don't even know what we've done, and we don't know. We know how fickle life is. People in this pandemic, we've seen a lot of people just disappear from the surface of the earth, and it feels very fragile. And at this stage, it's a great time to remind all of us that it's our life. As long as we are not interrupting into the activities and happiness of another person's life, I think we should live a life that we decide we must live in. And any decision I make, I would much rather make a wrong decision than keep wondering if I should make the decision or not. So I think decision making is extremely crucial. And most of what I do in life is well thought out, well decided. And I decisively go in saying, okay, this is my decision, my life. If it doesn't work, it's my life and it's my choice, and I can live with it. But if I live somebody else's choice or carry through somebody else's path, and if I fail or succeed, it won't give me the same amount of happiness. So it's ingrained in me, and hence I'm able to stick by whatever I want to do in life. And that's exactly how everyone must live. We must not really budge because somebody else is saying something to us and asking us to do something.
So basically a life with no regrets.
There is nothing to regret. Like I said, failure is a pathway to excellence, right? So why do we not take that step? Why do we not decide? Because we all fear failure. But why fear failure? Because failure gives you learning lessons. And that is the greatest stepping stone for excellence. So as far as I'm concerned, if the fear of failure is pushed away from us, everything else becomes easy in life. The only thing that will be left is, us failing or succeeding, something working or not working. Because success and failure itself is a term that we've all used to coin a certain action or a certain activity in life. Doesn't mean anything. It's just that we need to live with. I've been saying this, and I'm in a much better mental space to be able to say this with certainty now, that I am the most luckiest person on earth. A lot of people tend to, find. A lot of people's lifetime gets finished in trying to search for what they want, search for the purpose of their life. I know a lot of my friends wanted to be cricketers, but couldn't be. They ended up in a software, job or whatever it is, different, tried to be an entrepreneur and all that. But look at me, I'm so lucky. And even today, I went for my club team practice this morning, and I'm able to do that because I'm just in love with the game. It's not for what the game gives me. It's not the fame. It's not the money. Nothing. And if you look at the car that I drive, it's got nothing to do with the kind of car I can buy, because that is not giving me. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I just conked off a little. I got a call. Anyways, saying it just doesn't resonate with the kind of lifestyle that I can have. But the point is, the game gives me so much joy that I'm able to do it without any thought or anything like that. And I found the purpose of my life. When I find the purpose of your life, what more do you need in life? So all I can say is, there's no point in having regret. Just go out there and try what you want. And if there is a failure, you can learn. If there is success, great. Move on and learn from your success as well.
We're talking about learning, right? I think you're like the poster child for, experimenting, always trying new things, learning, unlearning, because you have to keep yourself up to date with, the new techniques, and you have to keep yourself changing, right? You cannot be complacent. And you said this many times that, the day you become complacent, that day is when you probably consider no longer yourself as a cricket player, right? So just wanted to know, who is somebody that, you really feared, like, wow, if I have to bowl to this person, I really have to change my strategy. So who's somebody that you feared or probably thought, okay, I really have to go one step ahead if I have to bowl to this person?
None. I think this is a very common question that I get asked, and I don't fear anyone. I don't fear any batter, because do I look like I fear someone? Because if I fear someone, I will never be able to respond to those situations again. I don't see why somebody needs to fear, because as a spinner, the first lessons I was taught. I mean, I became a spinner pretty late in my life, and the first lesson I was taught was a spinner should be happy to be hit for a 6 or a 4. And yes, sir. By the way, I have bowled to Sachin and I got him out once in the IPL. So yeah. Anyway, I just went off the boil. I saw a question. That's why I said it springs up, and my attention goes to the question. So I don't fear bowling to anyone. I look forward to bowling to someone that I really rate, as someone that is a great batter or something. I want to see how the battle goes. Can I mentally break them down, or is it a different challenge of sorts? So for me, I don't fear anyone at all, and it's like I said, there's no fear. For me, I managed to live a life where I've completely, tried to isolate fear. Yes, I find myself in situations in the eye of the storm many times, but it doesn't really bother me.
So, okay, probably another way to phrase this, who is somebody that you look forward to, bowl? Let's see how this goes.
I bowl to most people now, right, in this modern era. But one batsman I would have loved to bowl to was Brian Lara. And a lot of people, and he's a left-hander, and a lot of people have said great things about him. And I've seen him watched him bat. I watched most of these cricketers bat, but it's a different ball game when you have the ball in your hand, right? So I would have loved to have a contest with Brian Lara.
Superb. So I think keep those questions coming in, and Ashwin will give you the freedom to choose the question that you would like to answer. But before that, I think this is the moment that we've all been waiting for, like a group photo with Ashwin. So can I request everyone to turn on their camera and again, bring out the best in you. And if you have family and friends around, gather them around the camera. We'll take a photo together. And so again, personally, this is my moment of the day, and quite a bunch of insights that we've received from Ashwin, and it means the world to all of us. So, okay, I think we are ready, and our team behind, yes. So, on a count of three, can we have the biggest and brightest smile? So, 3, 2, and 1. Say cheese, and yes, so our team on the back end is taking a lot of photos. Yeah, thumbs up. Any messages? Okay, lots of love, and we have kids joining in. We have parents joining in. We have siblings joining in. That's just fantastic. Superb. So keep those questions coming in, and I think Ashwin, now is the time that you can scroll through, choose the question that you'd like to answer.
There's so many. What can I do? How do you feel when you're... Oh, no. Why don't you choose and ask?
So I think one question that all of us, it's interesting how, apart from being a cricketer, you're also a content creator with like about millions of subscribers on YouTube, right? And you said it's something that just happened by accident, like during pandemic, right? So how do you go about like planning for this channel? How do you come up with ideas? And is there like a dream guest that you'd like to have on your YouTube channel?
Okay, I'll take the first part of the question. Yes, it was not accidental. I was doing some stuff on Instagram during the pandemic. Obviously, my mind cannot sit idle, and my mind keeps ticking all the time. It's one of the areas of concern, if I can say that. As the mind was working and ticking, I was obviously taking care of the physical part of it. I've got a gym at home and all that. So there was a bit of work that I could put physically, but mentally I wanted to keep myself going. So I wanted to stay in touch with the game as well, and I was doing some chats with some of my colleagues on Instagram. And randomly, one of those Instagram chats and friends, some of the friends said, "Why don't you do it on YouTube? Have a YouTube channel and stuff, and why don't you, sort of put it up there and people can watch it, and it will be available for a longer period of time. It's got better reach and all that. It's got people from all over the country. Every nook and corner has YouTube and all that. So I started doing it on YouTube, and I kind of started enjoying it. There was a lot of learning more than anything else. When I interviewed people from very different cross sections, I started to learn a lot more, and I kind of enjoyed it, and I continue doing it. And what was the other part of the question? A dream guest, yeah.
Dream guest.
So there's a South Indian actor called Trisha, and she's someone I've always I've always liked, and I was really really enjoyed watching her movies and all that. And now obviously we do chat and interact now and then. Would love to host her on the show. Yes, we'll come on.
Sure. I think we'll put in a word from our side as well and get Trisha as part of your YouTube show. And superb. And it's just nice to see, apart from being a cricketer, the multiple hats that you don. And we've also seen you like play chess, get into those different sports. So just a question, like, how do these other sports, like, do they help you relax? What is this interest specifically in chess?
I don't know. I mean, some time back, there was a physical trainer in the Indian team. His name was Basu, and he loved playing chess, and he used to, egg me on to play chess and all that. I somehow felt like I couldn't process enough, and there's a lot to do in chess, right? And you need to remember, it's too boring. I don't like very slow-paced games, to be very honest. I thought chess was very slow. And I said, no. He said, you will be good, try it. And I kept playing. I lost a couple of times to him and just lost interest. And then during the pandemic, I just kept playing the game and all that. I just felt I need more. I read a lot of books. I watch a lot of movies, but I need more to just keep myself engaged, turn myself off from the game. it's getting very mundane. And then I went online and started giving it a go, and I enjoyed it. Kind of felt like, okay, this is nice. And because the tools online, the online tools are like, they can analyze your game, they can give you a proper feedback and all that. And I kind of felt that I could improve my game. And many people, again, right? A lot of people kept saying the same thing. You need to start young. If you start late in chess, you'll go nowhere. So that's again a challenge somebody posted. So I thought, okay, this is again might never happen. But what is wrong in dreaming? I do want to become a grandmaster or something like that. It's not possible, but something to challenge yourself and keep going. And I saw another question, Vaishnavi, if it's okay to take.
No, go for it. Yeah.
About the Team 11 ad and the Muthu soup and thing. And I actually retweeted the Muthu's tweet himself. So we used to play on the road. We have about 15 to 20 guys. We used to play on the road. Or sometimes we played inside our house in the small net area. And once we are done with that, we always used to go down to Muthu's shop. And Muthu like used to sell soup like two streets away from us. And we used to go there, sit across, have our soups. And we had our own accounts there. And it is a very common have an account in these kind of shops and then settle it once in a month. It was very kind. And it's quite a special story, and it is a true story. Yeah.
Sure. Again, Ashwin, you can still continue scrolling through the messages and choosing the question. And I personally wouldn't like to restrict just to my questions here.
That's fine. You can choose it. In case I see something, I'll enjoy wanting how to go story. Okay. Should India or any country have a 5-4 at least spinners in ODI in the future? I don't know about that, honestly.
So I think one common question that we always, wanted to know, some inside stories from the dressing room, some pranks that, you could share.
Look, I think it's all about the bonding that one has, right? And over the years, I've been playing for more than 10, 12 years now. And over the years, things have kind of changed a lot more. Like when I went in first, there were a lot of senior players. Sachin Paji was there, Lakshman was there, Rahul Bhai was there. And all these guys were still there. And to be a prank, to pull out a prank on them was, you felt like, oh no, not on them, type kind of a thing. And then things changed. A lot more youngsters came, and then the environment was a little bit more, a child friendly, if I may say so, to be, making all those pranks around. But generally, a prankster, we don't have guys pulling pranks on one another, but we do have some of them who are very funny. And two of the funniest guys I know are Yuzi, Chahal, and then Shardul. Shardul is not funny in a humorous way. It's not like he can crack you up or anything like that. But Shardul's is differently wired. And the way he's serious and the way he talks, sometimes that itself turns you on, and it's funny. Shikhar also is pretty funny.
I think another question that we'd like to probably ask is, what's the role of technology, in decision making and over the years, like in cricket?
Look, I think what over the years is the fact that cricket has, kind of every game that you play is being recorded and it's being analyzed, and it's being, a lot of tools are used on it. There is a lot of data mining that's happening. So as a cricketer, you need to keep progressing, and you need to keep building on new arsenal and bring in new stuff every now and then, because it's going to be that much more harder, because players are processing it, and they will come out with different plans, different tactics against you. So definitely technology development has made sure that a cricketer's job is that much more harder. At the same time, it also gives you the same kind of technology at your disposal to be able to find one better on another guy. So it is definitely played a part. But I feel I think this is going to happen. Like they used to say, once the 2000s came, it's the generation of the Y2Ks. And likewise, I think the generation of smart cricketers will start coming through now. I think a lot of us between 2000 to 2020 till now have been a bit of a sandwich generation. We know we use a certain amount, but there's so much more available which we are not able to process, and many of our colleagues don't find it very necessary or very apt to them. But I think the next generation will start seeing a lot more smart cricketers being thrown up, a lot more smart coaches being thrown up, and they will consume a lot more data, a lot more footage, and things will get more spicier testing, and also reduce the shelf life of cricketers, I think.
Okay. Well, I think technology has its both pros and cons. And so I think we also want to know about the vibrant Australian series. The experience is part of it. We'd definitely love to hear about it.
I think the Australian series was a very special one. I mean, there's a documentary that we just finished, and we just launched away with the trailer recently. And I thought the greatest thing that the Australian series taught us was how if you refuse to back down, things can turn. Like I just said in what I said when I had to speak all alone and hear my own voice. I did tell you we all go through phases where things are very hard, and we are all looking for that one relief or that turn in our life. And that Australian series was an instant example of how things could turn around. Right, the whole topsy-turvy nature of the series was incredible. Like from my one single greatest takeaway and greatest accomplishment of the series, as far as I am concerned, is when Virat left after that first test at Adelaide. Everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harriers of the world said India is done, and that to me was so surprising, because Test cricket is played over a period of 5 days, and it is not like your T20 games or your one-day games where some player has a great day and the game is taken away from the other opposition. It doesn't happen like that. For you to win a test match, it's like basically winning a war. It's like winning the Mahabharata, right? And that's how I see it. There are 11 guys who put the effort in. For some of them, it goes great. For some of them, it goes okay. For some of them, it can be bad. But how do you reduce the bad days is how a test cricket result is given. And we've been a great test side for the last decade or so. And even the fellow Indians, right? Our public started to say that we were done and there's no point in watching the series anymore. And I was like, oh, really? And is that all what we meant as a team? Is that all what people think of beyond when Virat is not there? It kind of hurt me. And I did have conversations about it with Puji, with Ajinkya, and all that. And we were like, okay, it's a great chance, and nobody's giving us a if we're going to do anything. So let's show what we've got. Let's go and play with absolutely no fear. It's all it requires now is one inspired bowling performance and one inspired performance, and we're back right. I think at is a great for people to get the turn is always around the corner.
Yeah, I think just move on with the times and keep adapting yourself. And so again, we've heard in multiple interviews that you watch movies, you read books to relax yourself. I think we just wrap up today's conversation. We'd like to unmute Sheela, and Sheela has a question for you.
So the question is that they want to have a sneak peek into your reading list and your movie list, Ashwin. That seems to be inspiration for us to take back from here.
No, I'm not sure my movie list is very inspirational.
Except for Trisha. We know Trisha's movies, but other than Trisha's movies.
No, I'm not even going there. I watch movies. Like, look, a lot of people rate movies bad. It's like basically watching a cricket match and saying the match was great, the match was good, the match was bad. I don't believe in it. Movies for entertainment, and I watch it. And you won't believe me, even from movies, I try and learn something. Can we learn something? Is there something to learn for the society? Is there something that we can learn from? But I think there are two masterpieces that I absolutely love when it comes to watching on TV. And I keep repeating it all the time. One is this movie called 3 Idiots. I'm sure all of you are aware of 3 Idiots. And I think I would have watched it more than 100 times, 150 times. I don't know how many times I would have watched it. Absolutely love every single piece of how the movie was taken, how it was narrated, and how people, how our education system needs to be tweaked, how excellence is the only way to go forward. That's something that I enjoyed. And the other thing is not a movie; it's actually a series, and it's Game of Thrones. I can't tell you how many lessons Game of Thrones has in it. Yes, correct. You can say Nanban or 3 Idiots. Nanban is the Tamil version of it. Game of Thrones has so many valuable lessons to learn, and And I keep, after every episode, there have been times when I watched every episode and like written down character names and said what the character said. And there is one favorite line from Game of Thrones that I always write and keep, right? And that is a part of human beings, mankind, and society. Everywhere around the world, you will have people doing this, and that's exactly what you need to be aware of. There's this character called Littlefinger, and he says chaos is a ladder. And you look at that line, and if you put it, it'll be appropriate everywhere in your organization, in your house, amongst your relatives, anywhere. That line will be so apt. So when chaos comes, it's a ladder. It depends which part of the ladder you are in. It's better if you're not at the bottom of the pile. So Game of Thrones is one thing that I really enjoyed. My list of books, I've read quite a few books, and I can't remember the author, but this book made a lot of difference to me. Attitude is everything. It's a book by a failed basketball player of sorts, and that's a book that changed my life around a bit. Then Open, I'm not a big one on autobiographies, but Agassi's Open was pretty spectacular. Ricky Ponting's autobiography was pretty decent. I went through. I haven't read the book completely, but I kind of liked it. But I'm into novels, and if I can rank my novels, my all-time favorite novel is Ponniyin Selvan. It's based on the Chola dynasty, and there is an English version of it. It's very popular in Tamil, but there is an English version of it. I completely fell in love with it. It's very slow, but yeah, the movie is coming. Like Magesh is saying, the movie is coming. Mani Ratnam is shot it. I hope Mani Ratnam can do justice for the book. The book is just phenomenal, and I can just keep talking about it. And Trisha is acting in it too. Then I love Amish's books. I've read all of Amish's books. Then another popular author I love is Ashwin Sanghi. And then finally, like all the usual suspects. Yeah, I enjoy Clive Cussler because he takes you back in time. There is some archaeology and stuff like that. So yeah.
Lovely. Thank you. You were such a thinking cricketer, right? That is what they call Dravid, the wall of cricket. I think you're the thinking man. You're always with words, and it's so articulate. I think we wish you many more years of playing cricket for India, and I think you should take the feather in the cap is the highest wickets. We wish you a ton of good luck, Ashwin. Keep smiling and keep thinking for us too, right?
Thank you so much.
Right, guy. Thank you very much. Yeah. On behalf of all of us, thank you.
I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheela, and thank you, Ashwin. Thank you so much. And I think the smiles that you see on the camera are testament to how much we really enjoyed this conversation with you today. And I don't think there could have been like a better person to kickstart our stories of excellence other than Ashwin, right? And thank you everyone. Have a great day. Stay safe. And we will see you in the next series with another person of excellence. Thank you to the entire team, all the families, all the Genovators. This is me, your host Vaishnavi, signing off. Great day.
Thank you.